Kindly take your seats. Welcome to a day filled with inspiration, joy, and the promise of a brighter future. It is an honor to address this distinguished gathering on this auspicious occasion, saying that I, Firdaus of 2nd BCom C, and Mercy Paulin, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce. We are privileged to host this event and we welcome you with open arms, open hearts, and open minds.
Prayer is the inner bath of love into which the soul plunges itself. I now request our department choir to embark the event with a prayer song.
Kindly take your seats. Now, I request Dr. G. Jnanaraj, Head Department of Commerce, to address the gathering.
Very respected President of this event, Dr. Victor Lazarus, the very eminent and illustrious chief guests of the day, Sri Balasubramaniam Sir, the Chairman of Board of Governors of IIIT Sri City, our very beloved keynote speaker for the day, Mr. Badrinath Dambi, Dr. Fenella, other members of the faculty, delegates, and my dear student friends. On behalf of the Department of Commerce, I'd like to welcome you all to this two-day conference on artificial intelligence, adoption and application in business. We commerce students are more focused on the growth of economy, and over the past 3 centuries, economic growth has been fueled only by technological innovations. When there is a technological development, what follows is an economic growth and development. So this has been the engine of growth for economy. Technology has been the engine of growth for economy. And we have something called general purpose technology, which is a technology that is adopted by everyone, or it finds place in every walk of life, like the steam engine or the combustion engine. Combustion engine made it possible for cars, automobiles, trucks, made distribution possible, made logistics, supply chain, all these things were possible because the starting point was combustion engine. So certain technologies impact all aspects of our life and all aspects of business, computers, internet, and in that line, the latest, not latest, but as we know it, the latest one is artificial intelligence, which has already started impacting every aspect of our lives or every aspect of business, and which is poised to again grow in its impact in business. So as we were planning for a conference, our annual conference, we thought our students should get to know about artificial intelligence, and that's the idea behind organizing this conference. And as we were planning this conference, we were very lucky, we are very, very fortunate to have Sri Balasubramaniam sir with us this morning. I would say it is God who has brought him here because he is a business and technology leader. He is a leader in his business, he is a leader in technology, and combined with these two, he is also part of the academic education scenario in the country. He is now vice chairman of AICTE. He is closely working with Ministry of Education, Government of India. He is a member of the team which is implementing the new education policy. So all these three things, that's what we were looking for, and God has brought him here with us. He will be introduced to you in a very nice way a little later with all his full credentials. But for now, we are very happy that he's here with us this morning. Yesterday morning, he was with the Global Investors Meet at Chennai. Last night, he was in Mangalore. Returned to Chennai last night. He was in the airport at 4 o'clock this morning, Chennai airport. 7 o'clock, he was in our Trichy airport. At 9:30, he is here with us. A man who has traveled so much, has taken pains to be with us. We are not experts in AI. We are not an engineering college. We are not an IIT or NIT. We are just an arts and science college. But still, for a person of his eminence to take pains to be with us this morning, thank you so very much, sir, for your presence here. On behalf of Department of Commerce, on behalf of our principal and Bishop of College, I'd like to extend to you a very, very warm welcome. Thank you so much, sir, and welcome to this conference. We also have a person of great eminence, Mr. Badrinath Dambi. He is also an entrepreneur dealing in technology, and he also likes to talk to people and exchange ideas with people. He is here to present the keynote address, first keynote address. Again, he was also, last minute we had to book tickets for him. He usually takes flight, but he was very kind enough to travel by train last night from Chennai to Trichy. So morning he landed around 5 o'clock. All of us were sleeping, but he was awake. He had to come and be here with this morning. So people taking efforts to be with us. We are eternally ever thankful to all of them. So thank you so very much, sir, for your presence here. And I welcome you on behalf of Department of Commerce and on behalf of Bishop College. We have our old friend, Dr. Victor Lazarus, a very kind, nice man, who was with us, and now is the principal of Bishop Thorpe College, which is our sister concern. When I invited him to be here this morning to preside over this inauguration, he was very kind enough to be here. Whenever we have any emergency or any situation, I always approach Victor. So he always helps us. Even today, we have few resource persons coming. We had to book a EQ for them, and Victor is taking care of all those things. So again, we'd like to thank Victor for his presence here and welcome Victor to our department and to this conference. I also take this opportunity to welcome all the members of the faculty who have been instrumental in deciding on the theme of the conference and taking up various roles in planning and executing this work this morning. So welcome to all our faculty members, and very importantly to all the delegates of this conference. Thank you for being here on time. We were a little late, but you were on time here. Thank you so much for joining us, and to our student friends also, a very warm welcome. We are a little late, so I'll stop here and I'll leave the floor to our speakers to talk. Once again, on behalf of Department of Commerce and behalf of Bishop College, I extend to each one of you a very warm welcome to this conference. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome. We'll formally commence a conference by lighting the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. It is our honor to invite our dignitaries on the stage to light the lamp as a mark of igniting the gathering. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. We deeply appreciate your presence.
The purpose of life is to make some difference that you have lived and lived well. It's time to honor such eminent dignitaries with a heartfelt, humble souvenir. I request Dr. Ravi Kumar, coordinator of BCom CA Shift 2, to honor Dr. Victor Lazarus with a memento and a gift. Thank you, sir. I invite Ms. Jerisha, President of MCOM Association, to present a bouquet to Dr. Victor Lazarus. Thank you, Jerisha. I request Professor S.D. Samuel Devdas, Coordinator of Shift 2, to honor Sri M. Balasubramanian with a memento and a gift. I invite Ms. Achaya, Treasurer of BCom Strategic Finance, to present a bouquet to Sri Balasubramanian. I request Dr. Shanti Merlin, Coordinator of MCOM, to honor Sri Badrinath Kidambi with a memento and a gift. I invite Ms. Kavita, Secretary of BCom Shift 2 Association, to present a bouquet to Sri Badrinath Kidambi. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
A great leader's courage to fulfill his vision comes from passion, not position. Dr. Victor is a passionate professor having expertise in the field of HR development, organizational development, and strategic human resource management. His hard work and dedication in the field of education and motivation is phenomenal. I humbly request Dr. Victor Lazarus, Principal of Bishop Thorpe College, to give us the presidential address.
Postgraduate and Research Department of Commerce, Bishop Heber College Autonomous, two-day international conference on artificial intelligence with the two major themes on adoption and application in business on 9th and 10th January 2024. A very great, spectacular, warm welcome indeed, entering into the portals of Bishop Heber College, the colossus of higher education, wherein I have been a student, a professor, a dean, and with all the accolades, God has given me a chance to enter into the portals of Bishop Thorpe College in Dharabram. I bring all the greetings from my faculty and my students from Bishop Thorpe College. Most respected and honorable Dr. Jnanraj, who heads a college within the college, more than 3,500 students and 80 professors. A college which really stands tall with the help of the Commerce Department. My own buddy senior in the school where I studied, who takes care of this beautiful organization or a department into greater heights. Respected Sri M. Balasubramanian, the Chairman, Board of Governors, seated on the dais. Sri Badrinath Kidambi, the CEO of Planetic Solutions from Chennai. Sri Jairam, Deputy General Manager. Madam Fernella Agnes Eileen. Learned faculty members, scholars, students from Bishop Heber and from other institutions. Very good morning, and I'm really glad to be here this morning to give the presidential address of what this conference can give us. As a person, I'm not a technician, I'm not a personality who understand what AI is all about. Maybe the conference will enlighten us to throw a great light on that. And all the keynote addressed by all the experts who have been invited to this beautiful conference will enlighten us. I was in railways for nearly 2.5 decades. And I'm sure that Indian Railway is now into AI, automation, robots, robotics, bots, chatbots, whatever you call it. But you know what happens today? We run trains without guards who are supposed to be the GODs of the train. We run the trains even without drivers or loco pilots in the days to come, as cars run without drivers. But with all this, how closer is an AI towards a human being? Around 15 years ago, I believe that there was a gentleman from the Reserve Bank of India who came to our institution when I was there on the government side. He was to tell us about the counterfeit currencies. நல்ல நோட்டுக்கும் கள்ள நோட்டுக்கும் என்ன வித்தியாசம்? கள்ள நோட்டு நல்ல நோட்டை நோக்கி எவ்வளவு தூரம் பாய்ந்து சென்றிருக்கிறது? And he asked us some questions. கள்ள நோட்டு நல்ல நோட்டை நோக்கி எவ்வளவு percentage முன்னேறிருச்சு? We all said 13%, 15%, 17%. And he said, amazing answer is 83%, 15 years ago. Now all the currencies have changed. And I believe that AI is also slowly getting closer to replace men. Machines replacing men. M replacing M. And ChatGPT so happily says that it is around 92% closer. And Lisa says she can replace any newscasters. Sophie, we have a lot of names, All these names, and mostly Christian names that they give to the robots. All these names, they try to come closer to the human beings to replace men. Around 1.5 lakh engineers pass out of Tamil Nadu engineering colleges. We also pass out as arts and science graduates. If these robots, artificial intelligence, could replace all of us, I do not know what will happen 10 years from today or 15 years from today. But the topic that has been given for this particular international conference today is about, adoption and application. ஒரு ரோபோவால நுகர்ந்து பார்க்க முடியுமா? அதனால நுகர்ந்து அந்த ஸ்மெல்ல கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியுமா அப்படிங்கிற கேள்விக்கு பதில் இருக்கா ஆடியன்ஸ்ல? ரோபோவால இது சாம்பார் இது சட்னின்னு சொல்ல முடியுமா? But scientists say, experts say that it can smell certain chemicals. So slowly, the experimentation is so awesome that the robots are even pushed towards replacing men. Maybe not today, 10 years from today, down the line, it could happen. 8,317 railway stations are there. And we call the major stations and minor stations. Around 4,000 stations, we number it as major station where may I help you booths are available. May I help you booth in a railway station will help you to identify which track the train is coming and what time it is going to come. Is it going to start from the east side or the west side? Sometimes in a single track you would start two trains, one on the east side, the other on the west side. So there will be a ticket examiner who will be sitting there, or a RPF, Railway Protective Force gentleman with his uniform. He'll sit there and tell you, sir, on the platform ponga, kelakku pakkam pora train la ponga. Depending upon the language, the personality knows, they will be helping us. And these gentlemen are going to be replaced by machines. Do you know that? And all these machines, when they come and sit in a railway station, they don't demand for basic pay, grade pay, house rent allowance, or city compensatory allowance. They don't require, national holidays allowance, or they don't ask for a productivity linked bonus. They don't ask for anything. So I'm really scared. So postgraduate research Department of Commerce has really chosen a topic. I should really thank and appreciate Dr. Jnanaraj after taking over as head of the department. BCom CA, and today we have got 9 BComs for the experts sitting on the stage. BCom Professional Accounting, BCom International Accounting, BCom Business Process Management, BCom Data Science of Data, Bachelor of Vocational course given by the central government in accounting and taxation. 2 years ago, the government of India was talking about, the finance as analytics and technology. No time our professor brought BCom FinTech. I think we think aloud, or your head of the department, sir, he thinks aloud. The morning we were there in the principal's chamber and we were talking about it, the choice that has been taken for this conference, or the topic that has been taken for this conference is the order of the day. So we are current, and I should really thank Dr. Jnanaraj and the entire team. I was just going through the team. I should really appreciate the team before I could speak at least for 2-3 minutes extra. The organizing secretary, Dr. Jnanaraj, Dr. Hannah, the organizing committee is full of women. Dr. Shanti Merlin, Dr. Sheba, Dr. Anushya, Dr. Kavita, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi, Mr. Boyes, Dr. Lagomi, Lavanya, Dr. Mercy Pauline, Dr. Rajesh, Dr. Miss Jennifer, Miss Varsha, Professor Mercy Pauline, and Professor Anton Bose. I know for sure that these people would have really been taking care of this conference the last, at least the last fortnight, they would not have slept. So thank you so much for giving me a chance to address and give you what this application and adaptability or adoption and application in business can bring. I was told that sir was there in the global investors meet yesterday in Chennai. How many of the students have really followed GIM? Can I have your hand if you can kindly raise? Global investor meter நான் ஆன்லைன்ல பார்த்தேன். I think my question is very simple. 1, 2, 3, thank you, God bless you. Sometimes கை தூக்க கூட நமக்கு கஷ்டமா இருக்கும் இல்லையா? 3 விஷயங்கள் அதில் பேசப்பட்டது, அதெல்லாம் டைம் ஆகிடும். முக்கியமான விஷயத்துக்கு நான் சொல்கிறேன். நிறைய கோடி எம்ஓஇஸ்லாம் சைன் பண்ணாங்க. அதில் முக்கியமான விஷயம் நமக்கு என்ன தெரியணும் அப்படின்னா, தமிழ்நாடு இஸ் ப்ரக்ரஸிங் டுவர்ட்ஸ் 1 trillion US dollar economy by 2030. We are already in 2024. 2024 is gone. Once it starts, it's gone. So you cannot count it. Can anybody from the audience, particularly students, can tell me what is this 1 trillion means? ஒன்று போட்டு எத்தனை முட்டை? ஒன்று போட்டு எத்தனை முட்டை போட்டால் ட்ரில்லியன் வரும்? கடற்கடன் மொபைல் பார்த்து கூட சொல்லலாம். இல்லை, we are all blessed with the mobile. ஒன்று போட்டு 12 முட்டை. ஒன்று போட்டு 12. எப்பயுமே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு நியூஸ் பேப்பரில் வருது, ஒரு குளோபல் இன்வெஸ்டர் மீட்டரை பற்றி ஏதோ சொல்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னா, 2 நாள் கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் cannot feed you everything. We'll have to work. We'll have to see what it is all about. The chief minister keeps on yelling about $1 trillion economy. மேடையில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவ்வளோ பேர் கோட்டு போட்டு உட்காந்துருந்தாங்க, கீழேயும் அத்தனை பேர் கோட்டு போட்டு உட்காந்துருக்காங்க, நாங்களும் கோட்டு போட்டு உட்காந்துருக்கிறோம், நாமளும் எல்லாருமே கோட்டு போட்டு நிற்கிறோம். பட் ட்ரில்லியன் வந்து 1 போட்டு 12 முட்டை. 1, 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, லட்சம், 10 லட்சம், கோடி, 10 கோடி, 100 கோடி, 1000 கோடி, லட்சம் கோடி, அது பக்கத்தில் 1 இருக்குது. கோடி 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 மல்டிப்ளைடு பை டாலர் இல்லைங்களா? எங்கேயோ போயிடுச்சு. இவ்வளோ பெரிய ஒரு எக்கானமியா தமிழகம் வருது, என்ன ஒரு சந்தோஷம் பாருங்க. நாம் இருக்கிற நாடு தமிழ்நாடு வருதுன்னா எவ்வளோ சந்தோஷம். அப்போ இந்தியா எவ்வளோ ட்ரில்லியன் இருக்குது இன்னைக்கு 2024ல்? இந்தியா வந்து எவ்வளோ ட்ரில்லியன் இருக்குது? பக்கத்தில் இருக்கக்கூடிய சைனா எவ்வளோ இருக்குது? யூஎஸ் எவ்வளோ இருக்குது? அட ஜெர்மனி எவ்வளோ இருக்குது? ஜப்பான் எவ்வளோ இருக்குது? நாம் என்ன ரேங்கிங்கில் இருக்கிறோம் அப்படிங்கிறத இந்த கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் உங்களுக்கு சொல்லும் என்று நான் நம்புகிறேன். We stand number 5. அப்போ அமெரிக்கன்ஸ் ஆர் 27 already trillion US dollar economy. India is close by 3.6 to 3.8. பக்கத்து வீட்டுக்காரன் சைனா, they are already closer to 18 and 19 trillion. Same population, yaar. Same population. 140 இங்க, அங்கே 140. In fact, we have surpassed the Chinese. Best wishes to India. But are we working? Are we understanding? சொல்றாங்க human resourcesல வந்து youngest population is in India. மேடைக்கு மேடை எல்லாம் பேசுறாங்க, இங்கிலீஷ்லையும் தமிழ்லையும் ஹிந்திலையும் மூச்சை கட்டிக்கிட்டு. But is it penetrating into the hearts and minds of the children? I'm here to tell you that. Is it really getting in? நிறைய சினிமாக்கள்லாம் சொல்லப்படுகிறது. எப்படி வந்து ஒரு மால் உருவாக்குறாங்க, அதில் வந்து ஏஐ எப்படிலாம் யூஸ், ரொபோட்டிக்ஸ் எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க, போர்ட்ஸ் எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க, சாட் ஜிபிடி எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க, இமெயில் எவ்வளோ ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக அனுப்புகிறாங்க, இல்லை நம்மளோட வெப்பேஜ் எப்படி கிரியேட் பண்ணுறாங்க, எல்லாம் சொல்கிறாங்களே இல்லையா? Are we really taking serious efforts to understand what it is all about? The message from me today is, எல்லாமே இங்கிலீஷில் இருக்குது, கூகுளில் இருக்குது. தமிழில் படிங்க ப்ளீஸ். Translate them into Tamil. Or if you do not know Tamil, it's the mother tongue that you know. Only when you learn it in your mother tongue. People from other states are very, very cautious. Bihar, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh. वो हिंदी में पढ़ने वाले हिंदी में पढ़ता है, हिंदी में लिखता है, और आदमी सब लोग गरीब है. They are poorest of the poor. But they learn Hindi so well. They learn everything in Hindi. Only thing is, no, we feel shy to speak and learn it in Tamil. Please learn everything. You can learn everything in English, hear everything in English, but please translate and transform that into your hearts and minds in your own mother tongue. Then only you'll understand. இப்படியா? ஐயோப்பா பயங்கரமா இருக்குதே. Now, how am I going to close this? So I'm not going very deep into the technicalities of artificial intelligence, but I would like to tell you that since I'm an MBA browser, we talk about knowledge management, we talk about forecasting, we talk about retention of customers, we talk about selling a product, branding a product, pricing a product, penetration of a product into the market, positioning a product in the market. இதெல்லாம் நம்ம சொல்றோம். அங்கெல்லாம் ஏஐ வந்துருச்சு இன்னைக்கு, ரொம்ப ஸ்பீடா செய்வதற்கு. குழந்தைய தூக்கிக்கிட்ட அப்பா மார்க்கெட்ல மாலில் போயிட்டு மளிகை சாமான் வாங்கிக்கிட்டு 2000 ரூபாய் இருக்குது, 1700 ரூபாய்க்கு உஷாரா வாங்கிட்ட போகும்போது ஆட்டோல போயிடலான்ட்டு மளிகை சாமான் வாங்கிட்டு குழந்தைய அப்படி தூக்கி தோல்ல வச்சுக்கிட்டு பில்லு போடுறாரு. பக்கத்துல முட்டை இருக்குது, அதுக்கு பேர் என்ன, கிண்டர் ஜாய் இருக்கா இல்லையா? அந்த பில்லு போடுற இடத்துல கிண்டர் ஜாய் இருக்குது, பெரிய 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 முட்டாயெல்லாம் இருக்குது. இந்த குழந்தை என்ன செய்யும்? நைனா 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 அது எனக்கு வாங்கி கொடுங்குது. நியூரோ மார்க்கெட்டிங். இப்ப இந்த எல்லா மார்க்கெட்டிங்குமே it requires the data, and the data is fed into a machine. You call it as AI, and then this AI tells you, or it penetrates into the minds of human beings to read our mind and then position a product in a particular place. இந்த ஷெல்ஃப்ல இந்த ப்ராடக்ட் வச்சா சீக்கிரமா போயிடும். மக்கள் உள்ள வந்த உடனே நான் பார்க்கறது ரைட் சைடா லெஃப்ட் சைடாங்கிறத டிசைன் பண்றது ஏஐ டுடே. ஆச்சரியமா இருக்கும் நீங்க பார்க்கறதெல்லாம். But the point I want to drive home today, I'm going to complete, is that இந்த ஏஐ என்னன்னு எனக்கு தெரியாது, சாட்போட்ஸ்னா என்னன்னு தெரியாது அப்படின்னு சொல்ற ஆட்கள் தான் இன்னைக்கு பிசினஸ்ல இருக்காங்க. அவங்கெல்லாம் படிக்கல, பிகாம் படிக்கல. நம்மள மாதிரி பெரிய ஒரு நேஷனல் இன்ஸ்டிடியூட்ல 34th ரேங்க் அவங்க பிஷி பேப்பர்லாம் அவங்க படிக்கவே இல்லை. பட் தே ரன் அ பிசினஸ் அண்ட் தே மைட் ஹேவ் அட்வைசர்ஸ் டு ரன் த பிசினஸ். ஆனா நமக்கு இதெல்லாம் சொல்லித்தரப்படுகிறது. The question I leave it to all the younger generation here is, what will you do adopting AI in your lifetime? நீங்க செய்யக்கூடிய பிசினஸ்ல இந்த ஏஐ எவ்வளவு தூரத்துக்கு நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க? வித் a human touch. 1 கோடி ரூபாய் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட், 10 கோடி ரூபாய் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட், 1 கோடி ரூபாய் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணனா ஒரு ஹியூமன் பீயிங்க்கு வேலை கிடைக்கும். அதான் அந்த குளோபல் இன்வெஸ்டர் மீட்ல சிறப்பாக சொல்லப்பட்ட ஒரு முக்கியமான செய்தி. அதனால தான் சீஃப் மினிஸ்டர் ஆஃப் தி ஸ்டேட் ஆனரபிள் சிஎம் நிறைய கோடிகளை கொண்டு வந்தார். 1 கோடி இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ற ஒரு கோடி, ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், if somebody invest 100 crore in a small business, 100 பேருக்கு வேலை டைரக்ட்லி, of course another 1.5%, 1.5 times indirect. 10 கோடி இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணாக்க அது ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ், ரோபோட்டிக்ஸ். அதனால சிறு 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 தொழில்கள்லாம் நிறைய தமிழகத்தில் தொடங்கப்படுகிறது. எதற்காக தெரியுமா உங்களுக்கு? ஏழைகளிலும் ஏழைகள் அவர்களுடைய தேவைகளை சந்திப்பதற்காக. I don't think this happens in other states in the country where rich people become rich. Tamil Nadu is the only state where we penetrate and think about making commoners to have everything in their lifetime. Recently, Bharathasan University la நடந்த அந்த கான்வெகேஷனல் அட்ரஸ்ல the honorable vice chancellor சொல்றாங்க 2 lakh and odd graduates are getting this degree, out of which nearly 72% are women graduates. ஒரு பெரிய பெருமை பாருங்க. பிஷப் பேப்பர் காலேஜ் இஸ் பாய்ஸ் காலேஜ். particularly it has almost taken 62% of girls. படிச்சுட்டு டிகிரியை கல்யாண பத்திரிக்கையில் போடுறதுக்கு மட்டும் யூஸ் பண்ணாதீங்க ப்ளீஸ். Please learn whatever is being taught here and then take it forward and apply where this business can be adopted. May God bless you all. May this 2-day international conference in artificial intelligence become successful. I should really thank all of you for your patient listening. And I'm sure that these conferences will take us to a greater heights. And finally, If I'm given a chance to be a businessman, unfortunately, or fortunately, I become a teacher, but if I'm given a chance to be a businessman, to do production, நான் எப்படி ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு ஆசைப்படுறேன், இல்லை என்னுடைய மாணவர்கள்லாம் எப்படி ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு ஆசைப்படுறாங்கன்னா, அதிகமான ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ், அதிக மகசூல், நல்ல குவாலிட்டி, ஃபார் அ லெஸ்ஸர் பிரைஸ், ஃபார் த poorest of the poor to buy it. சாதாரண மனிதர்களும் எல்லா பொருட்களையும் வாங்கக்கூடிய திறன் படைத்த மக்களாக மாற்றுவதற்கு இந்த ஏஐ நாம் யூஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு ஹியூமன் டச்சோட ஒரு பிஸ்னஸை செய்வோமே ஆனால் சாதாரண மனிதர்கள் எட்டா கனியா இருக்கக்கூடிய ப்ராடக்டும் அவன் வாங்கக்கூடிய அளவுக்கு அவனுடைய வலிமையை நாம் கூட்டுவதற்கு இந்த ஏஐ கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் உறுதுணையாக இருக்குன்னு நம்புகிறேன். தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச் ஃபார் தி ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி given to me. May God bless you.
Thank you, sir. All the statistical information you brought up today about the power of AI seriously rang a bell in our hearts to upskill ourselves in the days to come.
I now request Dr. B. Hannah, Coordinator of BCom International Accounting, to introduce Sri M. Balasubramanian, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIT Sri City.
Pleasant morning greetings to one and all gathered here. I deem it an honor to introduce the speaker of the inaugural function of our conference, Mr. Balasubramanian, fondly known as Bala MS. Mr. Bala MS is a seasoned business and technology leader with more than 2 decades of experience in the IT industry and has been associated with multiple MNCs. He is the founder of many companies, and presently Mr. Bala is the founder and CEO of Strat Infinity Inc., a global consulting firm in USA, UK, and India. Apart from this, Mr. Bala is a board director, advisor, and investor in more than 5 companies and has played a vital role in building the startup ecosystem, especially in the areas of fintech, edtech, agritech, and healthcare tech. Apart from the professional accomplishments, Mr. Bala was instrumental in the initiatives for building the tech captive global company ecosystem. Mr. Bala works closely with the Ministry of Education, Government of India in multiple assignments on an honorary and advisory role. To name a few, he is an executive committee member of Anna University, Chennai, chairman of Skill Development and Startup, FICCI, Tamil Nadu, National Higher Education Committee member, FICCI, New Delhi, and many more. Undoubtedly, a technocrat and a multi-talented person who has left no tables unturned, Mr. Balasubramanian is the apt person to inaugurate this international conference. I once again extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Balasubramanian and hand over the floor to him. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Wonderful people are carefully created by the Almighty. Wonderful moments are carefully planned by the Almighty. And wonderful students are carefully gifted by the Almighty, like how Bishop College has been gifted by having you all here. Very, very good morning to one and all. It's indeed a great honor and pleasure to be here for inaugurating the 2-day international conference on AI adoption and application of business. There are 2 reasons for me to come here. One is, of course, our friend Mr. Jairam from Business Standard invited me about a couple of months back, and I graciously accepted the invite. And somehow, once I accept, I really wanted to honor it. And list of various schedules, I really made it. Thank you for that. Second thing, had I not come here, definitely I would have missed an amazing opportunity to see the ecosystem, what has been built here, especially in the tier 2 city, right? Usually the corporate executive doesn't come out of Chennai or Mumbai or Bangalore, so on and so forth. The other important reason why I would say a part of the industry, academia, startup innovation ecosystem, most of the time I have the presence in the IITs, NITs, IIITs, and probably some of the top engineering colleges run this AI program. And at least with my short knowledge, I think first time I'm looking at the Arts, Science, Humanities College conducting AI conference. You should definitely give a big round of applause to the college, and of course to your professor and head of department, Jnanaraj sir, for this wonderful initiative. Anyway, dignitaries on the dais, I met the principal a few minutes back and had a wonderful conversation, and had a great version from our professor, Dr. Victor sir, and dear friend Jairam, and all the faculty members, friends, everybody. It's been immense pleasure being here. I think the AI plays a major role, as Professor mentioned, no doubt about it. Rather, I think next 2 days you're going to hear a lot of things about AI adoption, application, use cases, so on and so forth. As Professor Victor was mentioning, we are not expert in AI, neither I. I mean, I continue to learn AI because AI keeps changing. Every day it's changing, right? So even I would like to learn a lot. I am a continuous learner. You should also be a continuous learner. Rather, I would like two things. One is, I think after successful completion of your graduation, some of you may go pursue higher education, some of you get into a job. And somehow, unfortunately, the mindset of us, all of us, to get into a job and get our career settled. So, but the transformation is across the economy, especially in India, is moving on multiple areas. I just wanted to touch upon 2-3 important aspects so that you should know the facts rather than reality. So, what's happening in the global scenario, how you can be prepared. That's something I really wanted to highlight that. And then I wanted to share some of the general perspectives, because technology is always an enabler, my dear friends. So I think Professor Dr. Henna was reading out my profile. All this 22 years of being a technology leader, building our country's credit bureau, been managing the world's largest edutech company. So being always on technology, please understand, my dear friends, I am basically a BCom graduate. That was my initial graduation. I have never been an engineering graduate, but I have never done accounting finance. I'm a BCom Chartered Accountant, IIM MBA from Calcutta, but I have ever done finance accounting. I'll always been on technology, been a successful technology leader. So what it means, technology is only an enabler. Anybody can do technology irrespective of age, your thought process. I mean, it's only the passion. I say PC. Passion, commitment, patience, and curiosity only will make you a better technology leader, whatever you want to do. So technology is not a big game. So learn it in a very cool mindset. Right? If you look at the trend, what is going on today, so everybody want to get employed, right? So the trend has moved from employability to deployability. So what it means, when somebody recruit you, the day one, they want you to be productive, right? So that's the first trend that the whole gamut of industry is looking at. Second trend is, there are days where people used to hire you in a campus or an off campus, or you may get into a job and they will train you for about 60 days, 90 days, or so and so forth. But from hire and train, it has gone to train and hire. Right? So who will train? You have to train yourself today. N number of articles are available in the web. Of course, college like Bishop definitely taking a lot of energy and effort to train new people, and you should also train yourself. So the second trend is, from hire and train, it is moved to train and hire. The third trend that is going on is, you would have seen hundreds and hundreds of students used to be recruited by the organizations, right? There's a volume hiring. Today it is moved to value hiring. Because if somebody recruit you, somebody appoint you, what is the value they get out of you? So from volume hiring, it's going to value hiring. The fourth important trend is purpose hiring. Today, the global organization, although setting up the R&D centers in India, they see the value and purpose of hiring a candidate. Otherwise, centers like us won't exist, right? We need to answer our headquarters. So this is how the trend is going on. Okay, so park this in your mind. Other important thing I just wanted to let you know from World Economic Forum, which is a recent survey. I really wanted you to spend some time. I would like to read out. These are the 10 fastest growing jobs today. Okay, I'll just be a little faster. AI and ML specialist. That's the first job that's going on, right? Sustainability specialist, business intelligence specialist, information security analyst, fintech engineer, data analyst, robotics, big data specialist, agricultural equipment operators, digital transformation specialist. Out of this 10, I think 5 already your BCom has and other divisions, which is good. Other important thing, I just wanted you to listen. This is very important. You need to understand which is the 10 declining jobs, fast declining jobs. Bank teller and related clerks, postal service clerks, cashiers and ticket clerks, data entry, administrative executive secretary, material recording and stock keeping, accounting, bookkeeping and payroll checks, legislation and officials, statistical, financial and insurance clerks, door-to-door sales workers. This should be very alarming, right? Because most of the BCom students, most of them, I'm not saying everybody, most of them tend to be happy with your BCom degree and get into a finance or accounting or a managerial or clerical job. Probably over a period of time, you may get into a better position, but the trend has totally changed. That's the impact of AI. The second important thing I just wanted to, this is the 10 largest growth jobs. You need to listen that. Agricultural equipment operators, heavy truck bus drivers, occasional education teachers, mechanics and machinery repairs, business development professionals, university and higher education teachers, electro-technology engineers, special education teachers, sheet and structural metal workers. So what it means, the fundamental of art, science, humanities is not existing in the faster growing jobs, rather more on the brownfield workers job is growing. And again, even in this top 10 declining jobs are data entry, administrative, accounting, building caretakers, cashiers, material recording, assembly, so on and so forth. So again, the second alarming is, again, if you're not equipped with the right technology or you're not on the right platform, you don't exist with a job over a period of time. I'm not scaring you, I'm just sharing the real facts you need to be aware of. This is an important fact. The top 10 skills that the world is expecting you to have in 24 to 30. The first one, analytical thinking. The second one is creative thinking. The third one is resiliency, flexibility and agility. The fourth one is motivation and self-awareness. The fifth one is curiosity and lifelong learning. The sixth one is technology literacy. And seventh one is dependability and attention to detail. Eighth one is empathy and active listening. Ninth one is leadership. 10th one is quality control. My dear friends, other than the technology related literacy, I think everything is something which can be made out of your parents, or you can make yourself, or your teachers make yourself, or the ecosystem make yourself. I think this is the most important skill set today. The global employer survey says that the technology is the least expected outcome of any student when they come out of the college and get into the thing, rather the critical analysis, the curiosity, ability, articulation, communication, empathy. I think these are very important skill the Global CEO Council is expecting, right? So it didn't stop there. Another interesting thing I want to tell you, there are top 10 skills on the rise until 2030. In this, again, the same creative thinking, analytical capability, communication, curiosity, resilience, everything comes, but only one technology is getting added, which is AI and big data. So it's very, very clearly evident. You take any survey, you take any research reports, you look at anything. I think AI is not a technology. It is like inventing an electricity maybe 100 years back. It's a complete change in the generation. It is like steam engine to diesel engine, right? From diesel engine to electrical engine. That's what AI is. It's not a technology. It's not a particular platform where you're going to get here for a few years. And again, AI is not something new. Even 20 years back, there was surveys and research on AI. A lot of papers were presented. Only thing is, today we have the capability on demonstrating the use cases on AI. Today, the ecosystem is in such a way where the AI can really be useful and flexible. Other important thing I think friends may be thinking why this guy is giving a lot of shocks to you, but I really wanted you to know the real facts. That's very important so that you get prepared. Today, 23% of the jobs will change this year. 23% of the nature of jobs. And you won't believe, by 2027, 45% is going to further change. From 23 is going to 45. So what it means, my dear friends, today you learn, it's not going to be there in the next 3-4 years. So what it means, you need to be consistently upgrading yourself. The simplest way for you to upgrade yourself, be on LinkedIn. The most simplest way, right? So today you get into LinkedIn rather than being in Insta or Facebook or whatever. You can be there, nothing wrong in it. I think Insta is the most simplest, LinkedIn is the most simplest way for you to get in, follow the groups, follow the leaders, connect with the appropriate people in the industry. I'm sure information will keep flowing every day. You spend about 20 minutes in the morning. I think you will rule the world in whatever career that you're going to make it. Another important, this is something important. In fact, I would like to echo what our Professor Dr. Victor sir was mentioning. In 2023, 34% of the tasks were done by the machine and about 66 were done by the human. And 27, it is going to be 43 and 57. What it means, 43 is going to be done by the machine and about 57 is going to be done by the human. And probably this will change over next few years also. We don't know that, right? So at the same time, don't think that the machine will replace you. That can never happen. Machine can never replace you. Okay, machines will remain to be an enabler for you. You are not going to replace machine. Machine not going to replace you. You are going to be the person who's going to command the machine. You are going to be the person who's going to write the program. You're going to be the person who will be a creator of functionality of the machine. So don't get worried that the AI is going to take away all your jobs. No, probably it may take away over a small period of time, but it's going to have a bigger benefits unless until you are ready to fit in the industry. No worries. If you want to still follow the 3 golden rules of accounting and just sit on the book entry, bookkeeping, no trial balance, then you're going to be in trouble. Okay. Another important thing, reskilling. This is very, very important. So 44% of the core skills will not exist in next 5 years. So today you may get into Tally, right? You may do a SAP module, you may do a Salesforce, or you may do some accounting package, or you may do ERP systems. In next 5 years, it may not exist. So keep very, very vigilant unless until you know what's going on the trend. You may not study, that's fine. You may not even be interested to get into that subject, which is okay. But at least keep knowing the trend, what's happening. That is very, very important, my dear friends. Right? And as I said, the AI market globally is about 15.7 trillion by 2030. And in India's AI market is 7.8 billion by 2025. And then you're all the contributor for that. And I'm glad I'm part of the ecosystem because the CAGR, the compounded annual growth rate is about 30%, which is about fantastic, right? And of course, the gym, whatever sir said, I think across India, the focus on AI is like pretty fast. Name any sector, the AI Council of India is going to be run by the government soon. So a lot of things are happening. How many of you are using ChatGPT? See, that's it. You're all AI enabled already. No more conferences needed, right? So go and enjoy next 2 days. Anyway, see, I think since December 2022, I'm sure all the professors will be very happy to get a leave letter written very well, right? Emails will be very good. I mean, this is not only with the students, even in the industry, it's like that, right? Everybody writes on 1 page of leave letter. You think IT industry, is it possible? They used to say, I'm not well, I'm not coming to office, that's it. But today everybody writes a page of email. That's because of ChatGPT. But again, nothing wrong in using ChatGPT. Good to use the technology, but you keep upgrading yourself. That's my 2 cents. And I always say that any fool can write a code that computer can understand, but only an intelligent and a good programmer can write a better code where human can understand, right? You better be on the other side rather than on the earlier side. That's very, very important. So I think you're going to have here a lot of sessions, so I don't want to touch upon. Rather, I will end up my version with a small story because my personal story. I used to quote this everywhere. This is very, very important for the Gen Z students. You're all Gen Z, right? Right. So about like 13 years back, I'm a vivid traveler. Very frequently keep traveling. It was in 2008, I was traveling to Singapore. That was my first Singapore trip. And you all know Singapore is known for a tourist destination, right? Everybody goes to Singapore for 2, 3, 4 days for a family trip or a friend's trip. So I landed for a business trip and I finished my customs and I came out of the airport. So the taxi driver came and tried to pick me up. So I put my luggage and he was about to drop me to a place because I was late, I think flight was late. So I directly wanted to get into the meeting. So I just changed my suit and got into the cab. So he couldn't locate the place, right? And probably it took about 3-4 minutes more. And then even GPS was also there. I'm not too sure about it. Yeah. So it was about 13 Singapore dollars. So I was about to pay him. Then he said, no, give me 11 Singapore dollars. I was so surprised. It's very different here, right? If it is 13, we may end up in paying 20. So I asked him, why is that? He said, no, sir, I'm supposed to drop you about 5 minutes before. Probably that would have saved a couple of dollars. So ethically, I may be right. I'm eligible to claim the $13 as per the meter, but I would like to have only $11. For me, it was like so surprising, right? This means a lot. And he didn't stop there. He said, sir, Singapore is a country with a destination of tourism, and anybody who clears the customs and come out of the airport, the first faces the taxi driver. And if they are not happy with the taxi driver, going to keep into argument, their stay in the Singapore 3, 4, 5 days not going to be good. So I'm not a taxi driver. I'm an ambassador of this country without a diplomatic passport. My dear friends, you should give an applause, not for me, to the taxi driver. Seriously, this means a lot because he might have been a school dropout or a college dropout probably, but he spoke a good English or like a breaking English. So for me, what it means today, I learned that, you talk about powers, you talk about position, you talk about, getting into a lot of investment, earn more money, keep, all that is fine. But end of the day, for me, the professionalism is not what you do, it's how you do. I think that's something very, very important. I think I want each one of you to reflect this story. So professionalism is not the career what you build, but how you build your career, how you make it is very, very important, my dear friends. With this Gyan, I just wanted to say that gratitude in your heart takes you better places and makes you a better person. So stay in touch with your college, be a good alumni to your college, and stay in touch with your faculty members. Take care of your parents very well. Wish you all a very happy new year. Ensure that this doesn't stop with the next 2 days. It continues your career journey. Wishing you all the very best. Jai Hind. Thank you.
The echoes of your words will linger in our hearts long after the applause fades. Thank you, sir, for leaving an indelible mark with your speech. I kindly request Dr. Shanti Merlin to introduce Sri Badrinath Kidambi, CEO of Planetic Solutions Private Limited, Chennai.
A very good morning to one and all gathered here. It gives me an immense pleasure and privilege to stand before you to introduce the first keynote speaker, Mr. Badrinath Kidambi. Yes, it is like from the morning we have been hearing about AI. One person who has applied and adopted this AI in his field of career. I would like to tell him, I would like to introduce him, he has done his BE in production, MBA in USA, CSPS degree in USA, MBB in USA, CDDPP, everything he has done, everything in USA. But he has come here back to Chennai, India, to render the service for the nation. He has been the first supply chain management consultant introducing AI in supply chain technology. He has been the CEO of Salesforce.com, which is $6 billion cloud CRM software company in Silicon Valley. Sir has been with Industry 4.0 for the past 8 years, and he has been in demand-driven and SOP process in Tier 1 auto component supplier with time horizon over 6 months. He has been with Toyota. He has been with a lot of MNC and NMEC companies. Now it is our privilege to have him amidst us. Shall we all put our hands together to welcome him and to listen from him? Sir, over to you.
Distinguished guests on the dais, faculty members of Bishop Heber and students, it is truly a privilege to be here amidst all of you to talk about what basically we are up to in the practice and adoption of AI. Basically what we try to do, let me share the story. So I used to live and work out of Toulouse, which is about 45 minutes plane ride from France, which is the headquarters of Airbus. And I used to manage the supply chain planning transformation of Airbus. How many of you here are familiar with that term Industry 4.0? These days they call it Industry 5.0. Do you know what that is? Hand raise for familiarity? No? All right. So let me try and give you a brief on that. Now, AI, ML, all that we are talking about pretty much comes under the umbrella of Industry 4.0, or as we call it, Industry 5.0. So I'll give you a short use case in terms of how Industry 5.0 will get adopted. Now in Airbus, we used to have this story. So how do we go about bringing together a bunch of these technologies for making sure that the business is running very smooth? There is no disruption or interruption in the business. So we say, okay, Airbus has got a flagship aircraft called A380. So A380 has like 2 floors within the aircraft itself. It's a beautiful aircraft. You won't feel any noise. You won't feel any pressure. So we say the Airbus A380 will take off from Heathrow. Heathrow, as you know, is probably the busiest airport in the world in terms of the number of flights that come in. So assume there is this aircraft that is going from Heathrow to JFK airport in New York. Now, while it is flying over the Atlantic, suddenly the cockpit gets a little signal that one of the parts inside the aircraft has failed. Now, the captain of the aircraft takes a call that, you know what, even though this particular part has failed while the aircraft is in air, it is not going to be a critical failure. So the captain decides that I'm going to continue my flight path and land the flight in JFK safely. Now, typically, what used to happen was if a failure like this happens, yes, the cockpit will get a signal, yes, this particular part has failed, while at the same time, the Airbus control tower will also know that this particular airline, where this particular aircraft is flying, this part has failed. Now, in the olden days, when I say olden days, maybe about 10-15 years back, what used to happen is, yes, they will know that this part has failed. Once the aircraft lands safely at its destination, they will call the supplier. The supplier will come and then will replace the part before the flight is fit to fly again. This entire process would take about 3 to 4 days. So it will be a 96-hour turnaround. Now what is happening, I'll tell you. Once the cockpit gets a signal and the Airbus control tower gets a signal that this particular part has failed, they immediately kick off something called a smart contract. So the smart contract kicks in and tells the supplier of this part that, hey, this part has failed and this is the flight path of this aircraft and it is going to land at JFK at this time. So please be available at the JFK airport to make sure that you are able to replace this part. So once the smart contract kicks in, the supplier will send their employee to the JFK airport. So this employee is sitting there. Employee doesn't have the part. Okay. Employee is just sitting there waiting for the flight to land. Once the flight lands, the employee is going to go and then check whether this part has really failed. Now, assume this employee is new into the organization. So he or she doesn't know much about how to go about and remove this part. Well, no problem. They go ahead and have AR, VR kind of glasses, which guides the employee to go and remove the part. As soon as the employee removes the part, the AR, VR is going to take a picture of all of that and it is going to send it directly to Airbus control tower as well as the supplier who is responsible for making this part. Then we need to go ahead and get a part to be replaced, right? We need to have a replacement part. Again, the employee who showed up at the airport does not have a replacement part, but instead this employee is showing up with a 3D printer. So as soon as they go and remove this part, within a matter of minutes or maybe an hour, the 3D printer is printing the new part that needs to be replaced. Now again, this employee is new, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks into the new job. So the employee doesn't know how to go about putting the new part back into the plane. Again, no problem. You have the AR, VR which is going to come in and it is going to tell and guide the employee how to fit that replacement part and how to do the testing of that part, how to make sure that the aircraft is fully fit to fly again. So the entire turnaround, which was earlier around 96 hours, is now shrunk to under 4 hours. So no problem that the part is gone. Within 4 hours, we are able to turn the flight around and we are able to board new passengers and have the flight go to its new destination. So when we talk about AI and ML, they are all part of what we call Industry 4.0 or 5.0 technologies. What are some of those technologies that we are talking about here? You have 3D printing, as I was telling you about. You have robotics. You have AI and ML. You have big data, right? All of these will go ahead and come under, you have automation. All of these technologies are going to be part of the next revolution. In fact, there was a study that was done by the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. See, in the 90s, one of the biggest drivers of mobility where Indians could go ahead all over the world to find jobs was technology. And today, that technology thrust has come into your AI, ML and Industry 5.0, where that is going to be the biggest driver for you to go ahead and continue to thrive in the coming days. Now, as far as my own company is concerned, so I run a AI-based, AI-ML-based supply chain planning and analytics software. We were incubated in IIT Madras. Now we have graduated. We are funded by the Tamil Nadu government. So I was actively involved last 2 days at the Chennai Trade Center for the Global Investors Meet. So what are some of the things that we do? So one of the things that we do is we try and have companies sense and respond. See, previously, the way companies manage their supply chains. How many of you are aware of supply chain? Okay. All right. So supply chain is something that has come into prominence, especially because of COVID. Everyone talks about supply chain. Even if you see our Prime Minister almost in every other speech, not only our Prime Minister, every top leader in the world talks about supply chain resiliency, supply chain robustness. And supply chain has come into a lot of prominence because of that, because COVID has really disrupted supply chain and everybody wants to have a good hold on supply chain. Now, the way previously we were looking at supply chain, and supply chain again is a big ocean, and I'm going to talk about one small aspect that you have within supply chain. So, which is the movement of materials or material planning. How do we plan to have materials to meet demand? The way companies were doing planning, right? Initially, it was what we call as just in case planning. I'm just going to keep stocking my inventory just in case something comes up. Then we moved over, because I come from Toyota, and Toyota defined how you need to go about doing planning, where we moved from just in case planning to just in time planning, where I say, you know what, I don't want to have any materials with me. I just want my supplier to go ahead and supply the materials just in time so that I can go and manufacture it without adding too much capital that is locked into my inventory. All of you are BCom. Let me ask you a question. In your balance sheet, is inventory an asset or a liability? It is an asset, right? But it is only a notional asset. Because at some point we believe that you would be able to convert this inventory into a sale and bring back cash, right? So in sense, it is a notional asset. Now, because it is a notional asset, we don't want to keep locking up a whole bunch of capital in inventory. So what companies used to do to go about doing their planning in terms of how much should we go ahead and carry inventory, they used to say, you know what? I'm going to have a minimum level of inventory that I want to carry, and then I'm going to have a maximum level of inventory that I'm going to carry. And as my inventory keeps getting absorbed or keeps getting depleted, and from maximum it comes down to minimum level, I'm going to place an order again. So you have these fixed kind of quantities. What we have done now is we say you don't need to have any fixed kind of quantities. We want the inventory to be responding to changing market patterns and demands, which means you want inventory to sense and respond so that you don't carry too much of inventory and you don't carry too less of inventory, because both these in practical sense will mean inventory will be a liability for you. Another use case that I want to tell you. So one company that we work with, that we partner with, they deal with lots of different brands. So if you take a company like Crompton in India has over 2,500 distributors, and all of them are carrying Crompton's products. So Crompton wants to know, hey, where is the stock being held that is not moving, wherein in one place, in one distributor site, that stock is a fast moving stock, and in another distributor site, that stock is a slow moving stock. What is the viability for me to go ahead and quickly transfer the slow moving stock, which is the same inventory in one location, into another distributor's location where it becomes a fast moving stock? Will the software play a critical role in making sure that these kind of transfers happen so that the distributor who is having a slow moving stock is not going to feel the pinch of that, and the distributor who is having this fast moving stock is not under pressure to keep replenishing that inventory, because they are going to have that to be able to meet the demand. Another use case that I want to tell you is this pharmaceutical company that we go ahead and work with. This pharmaceutical company, again, I mean, because of the scale of where we are in India, India is a huge country. There are and you don't realize the vastness of it till you get a chance to travel all around it. So this pharmaceutical company, they make something called API. API is the active pharmaceutical ingredients, which is kind of different when we talk about API in technology, which is application programmable interfaces. But this API that they go ahead and produce, again, they are dealing with around 2,000 different distributors. Now, what happens is each of these distributors on a monthly basis will have to go ahead and send how much inventory that they have that is in their location. And this company found that, you know what, each distributor has their own technology and they get it in different formats. Somebody sends it in Excel, somebody sends it in PDF, somebody writes it on a piece of paper, takes a picture and WhatsApps it. So they have a dedicated team of close to around 8 people who will receive these 2,000 or 3,000 different inventory reports, and they go ahead and type this data into their SFA software, which is called Salesforce automation software. So now what they have done is they have used AI to completely take this non-value added activity out, and no matter which format you're sending your inventory report in, this AI technology, they call it the OCR technology, it automatically goes ahead and scans it, and it puts it in the right column format, and it automatically pushes it into the Salesforce automation software. So the idea behind all of these, right, all these use cases, there is one common thread. Businesses want to have a lot of options with them before they can go ahead and decide. And they want to have those options at their fingertips when they need it. They want speed in their decision making, and they also want technology to tell them the consequences of making these decisions. Like, for example, in my own software, we tell hospitals how much inventory that they need to carry, when they need to carry that inventory, who they need to order this inventory from. Now, the second, let us say Apollo Hospital, who's my client, if Apollo Hospital wants to place an order, for example, my software will go ahead and tell them, hey, this is how much inventory that you need to place an order for. This is the unit cost for that inventory. But not only that, we go ahead and plug into different online feeds like 1mg, NetMeds. So a hospital will know that for this one particular product, this is the unit cost that I'm getting from my supplier. But at the same time, these are the other online pharmacies that are having a promotion for any of these items, and this could potentially be a saving that they can get. Now they can go ahead and decide, should I place an order with my regular supplier so that I can avail some credit with them? Usually there is some credit facility that goes along. Or should I go ahead and get it from online where I might not get credit, but I can go ahead and reduce the total value of the order that I'm going to place. Now, these are things, of course, the customers will have to take a call on it, but we want to make sure that through technology, we are able to facilitate timely and prudent decision making. All right. So, I mean, there are a whole bunch of applications that are coming in with regard to AI, and India is at the forefront of making these changes. So, I hope all of you get excited about AI, and I know that, when our previous speaker, Bala sir, had said, how many of you use ChatGPT? Pretty much the entire hall raised it. There is a software that we use to check whether you have created your report using ChatGPT or not. right? So we want to make sure that yes, there is some AI that comes in, but how much of your own thought process that you have also put in to make sure that you're able to get the best output possible. In fact, when it comes to Chat GPT, I don't know how many of you know, Chat GPT has 175 billion parameters. Billion, not million, billion parameters, and that is only constantly increasing as well. So these are very exciting times to be part of AI ML revolution in India. These are very exciting times to be young in India because, as it was stated earlier, we have one of the youngest populations and we have very high aspirations. So by 2047, we want to be a developed country, and looking at you, you are the biggest drivers of that development and of that change that we are all eager to be part of. So with that, I want to say thank you very much for Bishop Heber for giving me an opportunity to share some of my thoughts with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for enriching our minds, uplifting our spirits, and leaving us with a profound knowledge on Industry 5.0, where humans and machines work together. I humbly request Dr. Fenella Agnes Island, coordinator of BCom CA Shift 1, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A very good morning to all of you. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to propose vote of thanks on this special occasion. I would like to thank all the honorable delegates who blessed us with their presence. I am also very much thankful to Dr. Victor Lazarus, Principal, Bishop Thorpe College, who delivered the presidential address. Thank you, sir. Next, I'd like to thank Mr. M. Balasubramanian, Chairman, Board of Governors, the Indian Institute of Information Technology. Thank you, sir, for delivering the inaugural address and for also sharing your knowledge related to artificial intelligence. Next, my thanks goes to Mr. Badrinath Kidambi, CEO of Planetix Solutions Private Limited, Chennai. Thank you, sir. You also shared the knowledge and your understanding towards the artificial intelligence on how to apply and adopt in the business. Thank you, sir. A special thanks to our head, Department of Commerce, and the organizing secretary, Dr. G. Nyanraj, for his guidance that radiated a source of energy within each one of us. Thank you, sir. I also thank the organizing committee members for their constant support and involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zones. I thank all the organizing secretary members. I'm also very much thankful to all our faculty members and non-teaching staff members who always stand by us and motivate us. I feel proud and thank each one of them for making this event a successful one. I also very much thankful to the sponsoring agency. It would have been impossible to organize it without their support. I also thank the department choir members, the technical team, and the MC desk, and all others who are behind the screen to make this inauguration a successful one. Thanks to all of you for making this event success. Enjoy the conference and the campus life of Bishop Heber College. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, we'll have a short tea break and be back by 11:45. Tea is served outside of this hall. Thank you all.
address to. I invite Dr. Sheba, Coordinator BCom Aided, to honor and introduce our keynote speaker for session 2. Invite Sri Danesh Kumar, Senior Architect, Generative AI, Accenture, Chennai, to accept the honors. Sir, thank you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to introduce Mr. Danesh Kumar, Senior Architect, Generative AI, Accenture, Chennai. He has extensive experience in analysis. He has architect and development of blockchain solution, smart contract, and D apps on Ethereum blockchain using Solidity. He has a strong background in predictive and adaptive dynamic analytics, has been designing and developing near real-time adaptive analytics system for cyber security and vehicle-to-vehicle communication using big data. With 17 plus years of international experience, he can lead, build, initiate software and data analytic products using a team of small and medium size. A man of dynamic package of AI, is here to share his knowledge on the topic generative artificial intelligence in healthcare. Over to you, sir.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, thanks, madam. Thanks for the good introduction. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Let's start this presentation. Okay. This is about generative AI in US healthcare. US healthcare and our healthcare are in domain wise, they are more or less same. So I took it as a US healthcare. Okay. So this session, let me give a ground rules before going into the session. This session, I want more of interactive session. We will build the concepts layer by layer with question and answers, and then so that I can have a more conversation with you guys, so that I can understand whether you can get the concepts or not. Okay, that's the idea. So the agenda is introduction about myself, and then healthcare, what is healthcare, and how the healthcare industry is set up, and then we will be discussing very selective generative AI use cases that is there in the healthcare, and also we will be discussing about generative AI risk and bias that is particular to the healthcare. Okay, so that's the agenda. Okay, let's go into the talk. Next slide. Okay, myself, I work as a solution architect. My day job is solution architect at Accenture Inc. And my expertise in blockchain and generative AI. And my apart from working in Accenture, I also founded or running a couple of startups. Both are in the blockchain and generative AI space. One is Innora.com. They are doing a performance engineering automation for the lot of big companies in the US. And the second, Encipherhealth.com, that's the healthcare automation using Gen AI. So actually, I have founded a startup based on generative AI for a healthcare domain. Okay, we are targeting for a US healthcare. So my talk is based on that experience. Okay. Next slide. Okay. So I understand that the composition of this audience is BCom students, right? So can anyone say what is healthcare? Healthcare as an industry or healthcare as a general concept about healthcare? What is healthcare? Can you guys give some idea about healthcare? Any answer is good answer. I just want to start the conversation. Yeah. Yeah, please. Yes, taking care of our own health. Yes. So there would be two persons in healthcare, right? Person who is providing health and person who is receiving health. Okay. So this setup is healthcare. Okay. So this is the simple healthcare. So if you go based on the definition from the dictionary, services provided by organization that involve caring for people's health and treating people who are ill. Okay, so it's a simple transaction, right? Provider will provide doctors or hospitals or nurse or clinical setup will provide the healthcare, and receivers, that is us, will receive the healthcare from the providers. So yeah, next slide. Okay, that's what I try to mean. The simple model. Patients visit doctor clinic, get treatments and pay doctor fees. That's it. Okay, so they pay fees rather than a simple transaction, right? So what is the advantage of this model? The advantage is it's very simple. This is had been there even in India some 20 or some 15 years back. Even this had been there in India when there is no insurance, health insurance were not there in India that time. This is the simple model that is worth practicing. Okay, they get treatments and by visiting the doctor, and then they pay money directly. Okay, but this is the second model, insurance model, wherein between the physician and the receiver of healthcare, there is an insurance company in between them. They facilitate the payment of the doctors. Okay, they will get a premium from us and then they will pay to the doctors. Okay, so a third party involves in this model, in this insurance model. So this gets complicated. Okay, this gets complicated because there are a lot of layers come into the picture. Instead of a simple giver and receiver, you will be having a doctor, nurses, pharmacists, hospitals who are called healthcare providers, and health insurance company who is called as payer because they pay money to doctor, okay, for our health services. And health insurance members, this is ours. Okay, we are the patient who paid money, who paid to the health insurance to get that services. And then there is this one, government or employers or individual will pay premium for a health insurance plan. Okay, this is where things gets little more complicated. Anybody know how insurance company works? What is the business model of insurance? What is the business model of insurance? How do they get paid? How do they generate revenue? Insurance companies. Premium. Okay. Yearly we will pay a premium to the health insurance company, and then whenever we get sick, we will visit the doctor. For that charge, they will insurance company will pay for that care that we will get from the provider. Okay, but how do they survive? We pay very little amount of premium, right? Yearly we pay some, for example, 20,000. Okay, yearly we will pay 20,000. If at all, if we get a hospital bill, that might be 20 lakhs also. How they compensate 20 with a yearly 20,000? How they compensate a 20 lakhs bill? Okay, there is a mathematical model behind it. Okay, there is a mathematical model behind it, and that mathematical model is where the causes of all the complexity that is there in the healthcare domain. Okay, so that mathematical model needs to be tended. Okay, it's not a static model. It needs to be tended. Tended in sense, it needs more data. It needs continuous flow of more data. Then only that model will work. Okay. Okay. Next slide. Okay. So insurance companies' business model is this. They will be charging premiums in exchange of insurance coverage. That is our insurance plan. And then they will be reinvesting those premiums to other interest generating assets. Okay, they will, this concept is called, in finance, this concept is called floating, right? All subscription model are called floating, wherein you will get the money upfront. Before providing service, you will get money upfront. Then only you will provide this service. Okay, this principle is floating. Okay, those companies that are involved with the floating, those involved in this kind of a floating business model, they will be always profitable, because before giving service or before selling the products, they will get money. Okay, what is the implication in their balance sheet, in their income statement? If you get a money before providing service, what is the implication? Yeah, please. I know you all become students. What is the implication of that? Before providing, when sales will happen? No, when sales will happen? When in accounting terms, when you say the sales has happened? When service delivered and you received money, only at that time sales has happened. If you receive money before rendering service, that concept is float. If you are receiving that money, then what about your account receivable? There would be a negative account receivable, right? Right? There would be a negative account receivable, or the account receivable will be zero, which is very good point, which is very good thing in concept in the your statements, business statements. Okay, it will enhance your business statement. That's why the companies that are dealing with float business model, that is a company that receives more money before providing service, are more successful. How many of them know Dell? There is a company was Dell, right? Right? Why they are successful? Why they were successful? I'm not talking now, but they were successful. Why? There is a company that are involving SaaS based model, right? Right now it is very popular, SaaS based model, subscription based model. Why they are successful? They all get their money before entering the services. Okay, in personal sense, if you are rented a home, okay, when you pay the rent to the house owner, before the month or after the month? No. You will, for that month, you will pay before in hand. Rent. Right? You will pay the month in advance, well in advance. Right? So in same way, if at all, if you get a license, Windows license, okay, software license, then you will pay the money. You will pay the money in advance. Then only you can use the license. Yeah, after paying the money. That's a float. Before giving your service or product, you will get the money. Okay? If at all, if you want to do a maintenance on it, or if at all, if you want to give a service, that is a secondary, that is a maintenance cost. Okay? So this way, float business model is very good. That's where this insurance business come into picture. Before rendering service, they get premium and they have a chance of reinvesting that premium into the market, into the securities market, derivatives market. Okay, next slide. Okay, so that mathematical model we have discussed about, right? That is called a risk pool. They will pool a risk, okay, so that that group of people, that is, if you pay premium, for example, all 20 years young people will, there is a chance of very less healthcare spending for 20 years, teenage people, right? teenage and 20s people, right? For them, the premium would be very less. If you get a insurance, health insurance for a few years, at the age of 50s or 60s, it would be very high, because those peoples would be grouped into a separate bucket. That bucket is called a risk pool. Okay, for a risk pool, okay, they will, so the people under this bucket of that risk pool has to pay the premium. That premium has to meet the total payout. Payout is here means claim. As a receiver, you might go for the claim, right? At the hospital, okay, while receiving the health care, okay, your doctor bill needs to be paid back, right? That bill is called a claim. Okay, so the total premium has to be equal or more than the total payout. This is the mathematical model. This is what underwriting people are doing. Okay, underwriters, what is underwriter's job? Underwriter's job is to make sure this total premium equal to total payout for that risk pool. If you are a risky, then they will move out you into a different risk pool. This is the crux of insurance model, health insurance model. Okay, this formula always needs to be maintained. For this, maintaining this formula, for this balance, you need more information, data about whether the person is smoker or not smoker, whether he has acute disease or not, whether he had cancer or not, whether he have any chronic disease or not. All those information is needed to maintain this formula, right? So the insurance company have a huge demand on information about the people. Who will be giving information about the people? Who has to give? Who knows all this information? Whether you are a smoker or non-smoker, whether you have what is your age, or whether you have a chronic disease or not. Who has all this information? Who? Either you or the hospital, right? Only both knows about your intimate details, health related information, right? So they demand those information from the hospital. Okay, hospital has to give all those information to the insurance company so that the insurance company can maintain a balance between total premium and total payout. Then only they can run a profitable insurance company. Okay, so what is the function of hospital? We know that function of hospital is care provider, right? In simpler model, we know that hospital has to give the care for the patient, right? But when insurance company come into the picture, they get into the picture, they demand data also from the hospital. So we need to give care to the this one patient, and need to give more data to the insurance companies for their underwriting purpose. Okay, so that's the problem, because it increases administrative activities of hospital. Okay, so how many of them know how the surgeon will do the surgery? There would be a single surgeon, and there would be around at least 5 to 6 nurses who will assist the surgeon, right? Right, that's the model. That's how they do surgery. Why that model is working? Why that model is used? Why not surgeon itself go and take the necessary utility or equipment while doing a surgery? Why you need 5 to 6 people to assist him? What? Yeah, doctor's time, the surgeon's time. Okay, surgeon's time is more valuable than 6 to 7 nurse time. Okay, so and surgeons, the flow of work would be get distracted. Okay, if at all, if he himself go and pick the utility that is needed to do a surgery, so they will be having a 6 to 7 nurses who are cheaper than surgeon's time. Okay, that's the model of caregiving. Okay, if you ask a doctor to write a report, what he will do? If you write if it is a single report, it's okay. If he has to write what 10 pages of report, what he will do? How does he feel? How does he feel? He feels what? Burnout. He feels he had been doing a more work apart from the required one. His primary function is to give a care, right? If at all, if he is doing a lot more administrative work, then he will be get bored or he will get burnout. That will reflect in surgery. Okay, so that's where the administrative task or more administrative task needs to be managed. Okay, next slide. That's what I'm talking about, doctor's burnout. Okay, because of administrative work, he gets burnout because he gets tired. Okay, and then the other thing is, just because of a burnout or just because he is get tired, he cannot avoid the administrative work because he has to write a report. Based on the report only, he will get paid in the insurance model. Doctor's report you get, right? That would be used to payment of the doctor, because that is the only indicator that says doctor has done this job on you. Okay, so his payment will get calculated based on that. Okay, so it is very much essential for doctor to do that. Okay, how many of them are knowing medical encoding companies in India? There is a medical coding companies in India, especially around Chennai and the other big cities, wherein people will do this job. Actually, they are doing the second point. They read the doctor's notes and they will decide what needs to be paid to the doctor. That's how medical coding companies work. They will get this one hospital notes from the US. Okay, those hospital notes would be sent to India. In India, as a back office job, they will read this one doctor's notes and they will assign the number to it. That number will decide its payment. It is directly responsible of doctors to do that one. So this kind of administrative tasks are outsourced to India. That companies are called medical coding companies. Okay, so these medical coding companies does the job. Okay, and then the problem is not only the textual data. Textual data anyone can read and then understand it, but there are images also involved. MRI reports, right? MRI reports, CJ scanning. Okay, all those information, photos, all those informations are involved. Those kind of tasks cannot be offshore to India. Still, they needs to be carried out in the hospitals, US hospitals. Okay, so there is a need of AI technology in healthcare, at least in this wise. Okay, medical coding wise, but it was not possible because AI is not ready to take in textual data and imaging data. That is where the problem with the AI. Okay, unless until 2 years back, it is very big problem with the AI itself, because AI cannot process the image and AI cannot process the text. It has been doing with the deep learning, but not to the level that business requirement. Business requires at least 95% of accuracy for that. That needs to be used in the business. So AI is not, were not were not used effectively just because it cannot work on images and text. Next slide. Okay, so that's where this generative AI comes into the picture. How many of them know about ChatGPT? Okay, can anyone explain what is ChatGPT? What is ChatGPT? You can ask question and it will answer, right?
Generative AI, sir.
Yeah, generative AI. Generative AI means what is generative in the AI? What is the generation portion of that AI? It will generate some text. Okay. Most probably it will generate the answers to the question that you are asking. That is generative AI. Okay. ChatGPT does really well on that level. Okay. It can answer all your questions because it has memorized all the information out there in the internet, or whatever the textual information is there, it memorized all those information. Whenever you give a question, it will search in its memory, in its database, and get you that answer in a novel way. Okay, not as a database query, but in a novel way. But the essential function is that generative AI will generate a text based on your input. That is your question, it get answered through generative AI. That's a chat GPT. So which means it can process a text very well. Okay, how many of them are used Midjourney? Midjourney. You can generate logos or you can generate an image out of a chat GPT, right? How many of them know that? How many of them know you can generate a picture, or you can generate an image by just giving the description of that image? You can generate that image. So that's also possible with ChatGPT. That's because generative AI can do that. Here in healthcare, we want to analyze the MRI report. Okay, using the same capability of generative AI, we want to analyze the MRI report. Using the same capability of generating tests, we want to analyze the clinical notes from the doctor, so that we can use that clinical notes to predict further health complications are there or not, or you can predict, you can assign a code so that the doctors will get paid. Okay, all those things can be done using generative AI. Next slide. So this is what I am talking about. If you see, there is something called stable diffusion. Apart from generative AI, there is something called stable diffusion, wherein you can fine tune the MRI reports, or you can fine tune the X-ray reports and generate a more informative X-ray report out of it. Okay. Okay. So next slide. Okay, this is more of this one. Yeah. Let's discuss about in what all are ways that generative AI can be used in healthcare. Okay, I told you about that medical coding, right? That's my startup. I founded a startup to do that job, to read a clinical notes and then convert the clinical notes to as a code, and then so that the doctor will get paid out of that codes. That's our startup. Okay, so let's run through the patient journey into the hospital. How many of them have visited a big hospital like Apollo or Kaveri? How many of them have visited the hospitals? What's the first thing they want to do with you? If you are a fresh patient, what they will do? They ask you to register, right? Okay, they maintain a file about you, right? That's the first thing. Second, what they will do? They will get a vitals information about you, your age, your height, your weight. Okay, all that vital information they will gather. Okay. Third thing, what they will do? Based on your description, they will assign the doctor, right? All those things generates data. The problem is all those things generates a textual data. Okay. So this textual data can be only processed through generative AI. All these days, this data is just used by the people who are working in that hospital. Okay, it is not used automatically or automated. Those processes are not automated. Just because The previous generation of AI doesn't have those capability, but that can be done today because of generative AI. Okay, once you visit the doctor, what doctor will do? Doctor will write a prescription for you guys, right? Right? Doctor will write a prescription for you, right? Based on your description, he will write a prescription for you, right? But he might have a doubts whether you will be having other health complication or not. So he will be asking you to go and take a MRI report or a X-ray, right? Or some other blood test. Okay. So first thing he will address the immediate problem of your immediate symptoms of yours, and the second thing you want to clarify all other doubts. Okay, all other doubts that he might have about your health. Okay, so two things is this: one is immediate health care, second is he wants to clarify other doubts. This first thing is called a primary diagnostics, second thing is called a differential diagnostics. Okay, all these things will be done by doctor. Okay, then you will go and get a report from the lab, and then you will give back those reports to the doctor itself. Okay, can you think about this? If this information, this reports and the whatever the symptoms that is written or fed into this generative AI, if generative AI can give a medicines to you, whether it can replace a doctor or not in this case, right? If a doctor is busy, he can audit the whatever things generated, clinical notes generated by AI, and then he can treat more patients, right? This is the direct benefit from the Gen AI. It might not replace the doctor, but it can assist the doctor. One day it will happen. One day, down in 2 years, it will happen. That's where the industry is going. Okay, and then this information will fed back to your insurance company, whatever generated. This will decide your premium amount, next year premium amount, if this information goes into your insurance company. Based on this information, insurance company might bracket you into a different risk pool, so that they can always maintain that balance. So total risk pool's total premium equal to total payout. Okay, this is the idea. Okay, this is the overall idea of generative AI in the healthcare. This we are currently implementing in US right now. Okay, in US we are doing that one. It might get implemented, if at all, if it is successful in US, it will get implemented in India as well. Okay, so whatever the use case I'm written over here are all about that, are all about whatever I described in the patient's journey. Any doubts? Any doubts? Any questions? Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you, sir, for your session on generative AI. The session was really useful.
Dear participants, before we part for lunch, this is to inform you about the halls that has been allotted for your presentation. Persons who have done on-spot registration, that is today, you are supposed to present your papers in the boardroom in the same floor, second floor. And students from Holy Cross College, 3rd BBA-B, you are supposed to present your papers in the same hall. The rest of the people can check for your halls in the notice board which has been displayed in the first floor and second floor. You can refer to that. In case of queries, please do reach the MC desk. And the lunch will be served at the open air stage. Thank you all.
Dear participants, your reporting time for technical session is 2 o'clock.
Dear participants, your reporting time for the technical session is 2 o'clock.